You interviewed that white boy. You asked him about that cell phone, and you let that white boy sit on your platform and talk in circles. What, do we look stupid?
I swear there is going to be a special place in hell for people like Officer Tatum.
Like I said, Officer Tatum is a dumbass person, right?
And it is very, very clear that the truth is evading us, in part because people like Officer Tatum are misleading and they're involved in some sort of cover-up, making sure the truth does not come out.
Officer Tatum was literally just in my comment section accusing me of being a liar. So y'all can only imagine the enjoyment I felt watching Nancy Grace grill him and pull the truth out of him, because we all know that's not something he used to.
And totally embarrassing himself and showing us that he lacks a lot of evidence that he's so infatuated with.
Officer Tatum spent all of yesterday telling us the audio was fake, the Nolan Wells audio was fake, and we're making it up. And then as soon as TMZ confirmed, no, the audio is real, Tatum took his tap dancing behind to that computer and loaded up that live stream and proceeded to run narratives and tried to debunk and lie about an audio that he once claimed was fake. Now he's acknowledging the audio is real. Now he's trying to tell us that we ain't hear what we heard.
Officer Tatum.
Officer Tatum.
Officer Tatum.
Officer Tatum.
In the court of public opinion, credibility is everything. But for conservative commentator Brandon Tatum, a recent series of broadcasts has turned the spotlight of scrutiny directly onto him. Tatum, a former police officer who built an audience of millions preaching truth and accountability, is now facing fierce public condemnation. The internet isn't just criticizing, they are lambasting him.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me. Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist? You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this?
The word.
You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotion? You talked of the way Benjamin Crump talks.
Just want to blame white folks. And so I go out there because I know that lame Al Sharpton and Mr. I Can't Read Benjamin Crump is just race hustling, y'all.
You talked about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s. Black people didn't look for this fight. They want justice. All they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. I don't know what happened. But if you're saying that Al Sharpton and that Benjamin Crump are on one side, you're certainly on the other. You talk to them for 2 days and now all of a sudden you know if they're guilty? You know if they're innocent?
The backlash centers on the tragic death of Mississippi teenager Nolan Wells, who vanished on Horn Island. While a grieving family searched for answers, Tatum flew to Mississippi, but critics say he didn't go to find the truth. They accuse him of executing a calculated public relations campaign to shield the affluent teenagers who left Nolan behind.
If Jesus Christ of Nazareth came out of the sky and said these boys had nothing to do with Nolan's death, people will reject Christ Jesus and stop believing in it. Because they're invested in believing these kids must have done it something. Now, I'm not saying if they did or didn't. I'm saying the evidence is showing that they were nowhere near Nolan when his life was taken. Whether it's a drowning or whether somebody killed him, these kids...
How he has softened up his stance, people. It's gone from there's nothing that shows foul play to, man, listen, man, I'm not saying they didn't kill him. I'm just saying these white folks didn't kill him. Huh? Oh, that's how far y'all have gotten pushed back? The bill got y'all pushing back that much? It's gone from there's nothing here that suggests foul play to, I'm not saying he wasn't killed or something. No, I'm saying these good white folks didn't kill him. He had black friends on the island too. He had some black folks on the island too. What y'all mean though? No. Shut up. You know the raccoon chip is activating when you see this? Come on, bruh. Come on. This right here is how you know the raccoon chip has been activated. I'm not lying.
The outreach reached a boiling point when Tatum gave a massive platform to Tracestin's shepherd, introducing him to millions as Nolan's best friend. It was a narrative that fell apart on national television. Nolan's biological father, Elmore Wansley, went on news stations to completely denounce the broadcast. He stated that he didn't even recognize the young man. The internet erupted, calling Shepard a fake friend, chasing clouds, and slamming Tatum for failing to do basic journalistic vetting before parading him on screen.
Officer Tatum was literally just in my comment section accusing me of being a liar. So y'all can only imagine the enjoyment I felt watching Nancy Grace grill him and pull the truth out of him, because we all know that's not something he used to. Speaking the truth.
You interviewed that white boy. You asked him about that cell phone, and you let that white boy sit on your platform and talk in circles. What, do we look stupid? Do we look dumb? You think we don't know why Nolan Wells' cell phone would be on the boat? Yeah, you out on the water. You enjoying the island. So you leave all the cell phones on the boat. That's not the question. The question is, if what Warren said was true, allegedly, you asked him 3-4 times to get on the boat and he said he was staying, why didn't he ask for his cell phone? Why did he let you leave with his cell phone? That's the question. Officer Tatum, would you let somebody leave with your cell phone? If you were out with your friends and they were about to leave and you decided to stay, would you let them leave with your cell phone? No. No, you wouldn't. But you let the white boy come on your platform and talk in circles. He talked about everything but why they were in possession of his cell phone when they got back to shore. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Like I said, Officer Tatum is a dumbass person, right? And he gives racist white people power. I said racist white people. I didn't say all white people, so do not come in the conversation. If you come in the conversation and say some weird stuff, bro, you're racist, because I said racist white people. He always saying some bullshit, bro. Like, always saying some bullshit. Then the racist people, they eat that shit up every time, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I was talking to this person, right? This Caucasian person who's racist, right? Because you could tell he's racist because of the shit he was saying, right? And he said Tatum was one of his favorite black person. When he said that, I said, okay, that makes sense. Like, Officer Tatum, he know what he doing. And that's why I said, if anybody follow that dude, they is dumb as fuck.
Following his recent interview on Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, commentators and interviewers widely described the interview as a moment where Tatum got cooked. When Grace pressed him whether they told him they passed the traditional polygraph, Tatum began to walk back his statement. He admitted he did not know the actual name or type of test they used, awkwardly clarifying that the same theology but a different methodology, tracking other stresses, which led critics to claim he was repeating unverified hearsay as definitive facts.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's from what you
understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology.
I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if
So
the
then
people were
the
telling the
answer
truth or
to
not.
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum. Hold on. In a nutshell, Joe Scott, there is a difference between a polygraph, which measures all sorts of body signals, your sweat, your breathing, your heart, your blood pressure, all sorts of things, and an audio verification test.
Is this guy serious? Is this guy really serious? Yeah, coming to you live from the Valley. Is this guy serious? Saying that it's a matter of semantics? The truth is not about semantics, my friend. Deception is about semantics. That's somebody saying that it's up to your interpretation. Now, there's only one interpretation of the truth, and that's the truth. That's exactly what it is. It's not open for discussion. It's not open for interpretation. Okay, and then on top of that, for this guy to say that he said theology, does he even know what that word means? You're talking about Ben Crump, and you're using words about theology to say that that BS test and a polygraph are of the same theology? Nah, man. This dude's a clown. For real.
Officer Tatum, explain this to me. Why can't you simply just say yes or no? Like, are you even fact-checking before speaking on such a serious issue? Or are you just simply believing everything that Nolan's friends have been saying?
Now, if you're familiar at all with this man, if you're familiar at all with Officer Tatum, he is incredibly combative, very arrogant, very, very aggressive. But if you watch this interview, he's very hesitant. He's stumbling over his words, very timid. And the reason why is because he knows he's lying and he's being confronted by someone who's holding him accountable, you know, the way he should have done with the two boys he interviewed. He's actually now talking to a professional interviewer. Nancy Grace has been a prosecutor. Like, he's talking to someone who knows how to hold you accountable for the answers that you give, and he is no longer this combative, confident, arrogant personality. He's now weak. He's now he's like reducing himself, stumbling over his words, and absolutely lacking confidence. That is a tell. That is a big deal. His demeanor is completely different than when you go to his page and he's telling people they owe him an apology and challenging people to fights. He's not the same person because he's now talking to somebody who's a professional interviewer. And that's exactly how these boys should have been interviewed by him when they had the opportunity. But instead, he's helping participate in some sort of a cover-up. Do I know what they're covering up? No. Do I know who did what? No. But the truth is not out. Something is amiss. And it's partly because he is helping these lies continue, as you just saw in this video.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water, and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection! You've been in court long enough to know you're gonna get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call, potentially, but you wasn't gonna upload data to a social media account. When I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent, and anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
But it didn't stop at bad vetting. The public is calling Tatum out for what they see as a systematic attack on a grieving mother. When Nolan's mother, Kristen Wells Wansley, demanded an independent investigation and transparency, Tatum reportedly labeled her as a race hustler and a grifter.
Since they lawyered up, High school friends.
Is when we come down.
Yeah. Say that second part again. Have they talked to the families? No. I haven't spoken.
Last question.
They haven't spoken to the families.
Thanks so much, Brandon. I want to speak to
Okay. Now, that's when she basically misspoke, but she corrected herself here.
The parents, again, they've offered, and I need to correct myself because I think yesterday in one of the interviews, I think I said that maybe none of them, I want to say 2 or 3 of them have reached out. Just the first one expressing her condolences, another one just saying, hey, give me a call if and when you're ready type of deal. And then another one just, sorry for your loss, but hey, we need to talk type of thing. And you know what? It hasn't, are we at a week? My brain is mush. We're all over the place emotionally. This has been a difficult situation. I cannot express how hard this has been on not just us as parents, but also his siblings. They are struggling too with the fact that they do not have their brother.
Now, those comments were made before Officer Tatum posted this disrespect. What was the point? She caught herself before she was called to the carpet. She spoke on it. Hey, yo, I made a mistake. Boom. You move on. Keep in mind, fam, this is a grieving mother. Tatum acts just like the rest of them. The uncivilized much. They don't care about your grief. In fact, they laugh at your grief. They laugh at your pain. This is why I feel nothing for them. Nothing.
The public lambasted Tatum, accusing him of weaponizing his platform to silence black voices demanding answers for a dead child. Critics argue that Tatum traded objective analysis for a hyper-partisan narrative, pushing a theory of accidental drowning to protect potential suspects, before the grand jury could even finish its review.
You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great.
So you see how easy she caught him up. Now, all of a sudden, it is actually reception out on Horn Island. So many people told me it's 10 miles out, you have no reception. Though it might be spotty, you do have reception. So, and put this in context, the other boys had video evidence. They had pictures and everything. They actually took some. And even if they didn't have internet access, you could save it on your phone because of Snapchat and you can post it later. We do understand that, so the fact that Nolan has nothing and is completely cleared out of everything is blasphemy. Because he said he left his phone on the boat when he got out because of lack of reception or because he was having trouble getting reception. But also in the same sentence, he explained that it was actual service connection on that island. And as you see by Nancy Grace, she specifically asked him, so is there reception or not? Because you said there is, and he said, yeah, there is some. So for all the people that are saying, oh, you can't get no reception out there, that is a proven wrong. You just heard it from the person that y'all love to run behind. He just said that there's absolutely reception out there. It might be spotty, but it is reception. It might take you a little while to send it, but you can. Carry on.
That don't seem very accurate. And why nobody talking about where's his black friends? I don't know where that's at either.
Now, this is one of the biggest things that gets me. In the video you just seen, he said, now where is all his black friends? I don't hear nobody talking about that. You talking about the black friends that was interviewed first, publicly? Are you talking about them? Or you talking about the black friends that wasn't on the boat when he went out there with his white friends? What exactly are you saying? See, what Officer Tatum is trying to do is, he's trying to switch races. He's trying to make it look like that his black friends, in fact, had something to do with it. And I'm going to tell you who he's trying to make it look like has something. He's trying to make it look like that Javon Williams young man has something to do with it. Why you think he said, where are all his black friends? He's not talking about the ones that's interviewing with him. He's talking about Javon Williams. Javon, if you know anything, you better get talking, because I'm telling you, they about to spit it on you, because you know what? You were supposedly left on that island with him. If he was indeed still on that island, they're trying to paint it on you. They're trying to push it on you. And that's what exactly is Officer Tatum's, that's his motive. He's trying to get it off them and trying to put it on someone of the same race, so it won't be a race war, or it won't be found out what's going on in that race, in that town. Now, if you want to help the Crumps and help everybody else, which we do appreciate, you keep your dumb ass out there and keep looking stupid, because you can't answer a question. You can't answer it with your chest, because you completely manufactured most of your findings, and it's obvious.
With both independent and state autopsy returning undetermined cause of death, and tech giants subpoenaed for deleted data, the legal battle is far from over. But for Brandon Tatum, the damage to his reputation may already be done. By entertaining fake friends and demonizing a mourning family, critics say he didn't just miss the story, he became a part of it. That's all for today. Let me know your thoughts. Also, watch how Bat became the prime suspect in this Nolan Wells case, and why all Nolan's friends' families are being sued. Click the video on the screen.